How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's keeping well. Today we're going to have a look at a technical focus song from the Grade 1 Trinity Rock and Pop syllabus. We're going to look at Uptown Funk by Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars. The first page of this piece is pretty straightforward. You've got a nice little fill that comes in at the beginning. And if you're counting the very first fill, which is bar number 4, top line, we count 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're hitting 2 16th notes or semi-quavers on beat 4, and we're counting 4E, as in 4E ander, but we only play the first 2 notes of it, so 4E ander, 4E ander, okay? So that's how it comes in, 1, 2, 3, 4, E. And then the rest of the page is pretty much all simple 8-beat with 4 on the floor. Now 4 on the floor means you add the bass drum to the snare drum beats, so that your bass drum ends up doing 4 notes per bar. So instead of normal alternating kick and snare and kick and snare and, it's going kick and boat and kick and boat and kick and boat and. Really nice technique. Happens a lot. Happens in any rhythm. You could play it in a jazz rhythm, you could play it in the 16s, but you could do it anywhere 4 on the floor. It's really, really good technique. If you find it really hard, don't worry about it. Right? Just play a normal simple 8-beat. It would work perfectly in this piece in 8-beat. So try it as a technique, as a bit of your progress, as something to help you get better. But if you can't do it, don't let it stop you playing the piece. The piece works really well with a simple 8-beat, okay? There's a little crash on bar number 13, and then right at the end of the first bar, there's a floor tom on beat number 4. So I always count this, 1, 2, 3, floor, and then floor, right? So you've got a floor tom on beat 4. Then the second page, is made up of a few different bits. Starts with this kick bit, right? Doing that, it's quite straightforward. Then you do a build-up. Now the build-ups, right, I always refer to it as a build-up. It's right hand on the floor tom, left hand on the snare drum, and you're basically playing this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But in this piece, we go from what's called MP, which stands for mezzo piano, which means moderately soft, okay, all the way up to F, which is forte, which is loud. So we're doing a crescendo. We're getting louder. Now you could start this without the bass drums. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Got a little bit at the end, and then try and add the bass drums later. The bass drums just keep time, so they're carrying on doing the 4 on the floor. They've been doing it for the whole piece so far, right? So you put it over the top like that. Some people find the coordination there a little bit odd, and their left hand tends to go a bit weird, right? So make sure that that's there. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that's your important build-up bit. The bass drum underneath is important, keeping that time and getting that coordination, but I'd get rid of the bass drum first if you find it tricky, add it in at a later date, okay? Then you've got 2 other tricky bits, okay? You've got a nice little fill which happens. So you have to come in, you're playing an 8-beat, still with the 4 on the floor, and you play for 3.5 bars, and then on the last bar of this line of the instrumental, so we're talking now about bar number 32 is the first time it happens. You play this. You play an 8-beat and you count 1 and 2 and 3. Now you stop on that 3, come straight into this fill, and a 4 E and. Okay, so 6 notes, ba 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 ba, and you're counting and a 4 E and a, and a 4 E and a. Putting it together, 1 and 2 and 3, and a 4 E and a. 1 and 2 and 3, and a 4 E and a. It's really nice, really lovely feel, works really well. It's quite famous, but you'll recognise it in the song. I think you should be able to sing it quite well if you've listened to the original song. Sing it in your head and then try and play it on the drums. And that happens in this piece. Once they're on that line, the instrumental line ending in bar 32, and then the next line, it's the same thing. You go from 33 and you do 3 normal bars of an 8-beat, then you do that fill again, then you do that fill again and again and again, 4 times in a row there, from bar 36 to bar 39. Okay, so you've got to do it over and over again, which is quite nice. Then the last bit, now the last fill, it's kind of tricky. You might have done something like this where we separate the hand and the foot. The last fill, bar 40, goes, got to start with the right hand here, snare kick, snare kick, snare kick, snare, bang. And I write the word bang over the top of that last bit, so you play your bass drum, your snare drum, your hi-hat all together. Okay, so we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, bang. Now I think the hardest bit about bar 40 is coming into that snare from the fill you've just done. You've got to go 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 E and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, bang. And I think that's that's the tricky bit. So definitely practice the last line of this piece, 39, 40, and then the last bit over and over again. 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Bang! That's quite tough. I'm going to do a little play along. I'll count you into every little section. When we get to those fills, I'll yell 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Like I would do in lessons. Let's give it a whirl, see how we find it. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
This hit that ice cold, my shell fight for that white gold. This one for them good girls, straight masterpieces. Styling, whining, living it up in the city. I got Chuck's on with Saint Laurent. Gotta kiss myself, I'm so pretty.
And the crash.
Too hot damn. All the police and the fireman. Too hot damn. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. Too hot damn. Say my name, you know who I am. Too
Last bar coming up.
hot damn. Never mind
1,
about
2,
them money.
3, 4.
Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. 'Cause Uptown
2,
ain't gon' give it to
3,
you.
4.
'Cause